my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
They're here.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
It's showtime.
Right, welcome everybody to another episode of VHS Strikes Back. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to the VHS Strikes Back, the show where we dust off the old video player and go on a nostalgic journey to look at the good and the bad movies of yesteryear. Now, Chris, what we're going to review this week?
Well, Dave, it is a Patreon pick from our good friend Justin, and this one, Dave, is from 1984. It's the Coen brothers' directorial debut, produced and directed by him, and I've never seen it before, but it's called Blood Simple. So what about yourself, Dave?
Very little. I remember the video case being in the video store, but that's it. And I've got to admit, I had no kind of... the title just did not pull me in at all. And I think... So when I worked in the video shop, one of the big movies around at the time was Fargo. So another Coen brothers movie. And everyone was going nuts for that. And I enjoyed it as well. Old Mr. Pink from Reservoir Dogs was in it. So, you know, kind of enjoyed it. But didn't really have that massive love for the Coen brothers that a lot of people seem to have. And so, you know, definitely not a completionist of theirs. So I hadn't really thought about this movie for, you know, best part of 20 years now since I worked there. And yeah, so I was intrigued to come and watch this one, but no baggage whatsoever other than, you know, last week when we looked at the trailer.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know who the Coen brothers are, Dave, but never heard of this one at all. And I must admit, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, what is this? This is just like a horror movie or something. So completely something I never would have watched. I've never seen it, never heard of it. So yeah, with it being 84 as well, I was thinking, oh, what's it going to be like? So yeah, it's an interesting pick for Justin. And I love this because when the Patreons get involved, Dave, which is brilliant. It just picks some obscure movies, but movies that they have watched and mean a lot to. Like my, you know, ridiculous martial arts movies. We've all got our movies that you remember as a kid and stuff. So I'm interested to see where we go with this one.
Well, I mean, just a little bit of trivia that I was sort of off on a rabbit hole on. So this is the Coen brothers' first movie. And basically, they kind of rang around for a year just trying to get investor money to raise the capital to make this movie. Big friends with Sam Raimi as well, kind of came through in that same school and got that tip from him. So, you know, they're ringing up like doctors and dentists and stuff. Have you got some money? Do you want to invest in a film? And one of the things that they did was they put together like a trailer. And it had Bruce Campbell in it, one of Sam Raimi's favorites from Evil Dead and stuff.
Yeah.
And they made it look very much like a horror movie, you know. And so, you know, the actual film that came in the end was, I'd say it's more like a thriller with some horror mashups in there. I mean, the genres sort of mashup really is quite interesting. And then, you know, we see some of that later with the stuff like Fargo and what have you. But yeah, I was just fascinated by this one. You know, I kind of watched it without any baggage and then just started reading up on it and found it, yeah, it's an interesting case study, this one.
Interesting, Dave. Interesting. So shall we get into our trailer?
Let's go.
What I know about is Texas. Down here, you're on your own.
Hello.
Having a good time?
Hey, what's it?
Your husband.
I got a job for you. It's not strictly legal.
You want me to kill him?
Ray, let's get out of here.
What do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
What's funny So if it's not you she's sleeping with, it's someone else. What's really going to be funny is when she gives you that look and says,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You look stupid now.
Ray, a bartender at Marty's bar, and Abby, Marty's wife, are driving through a heavy downpour at night, discussing Abby's bad marriage. They arrive at a hotel where they have sex. A man named Loren Visser, a private detective, has been hired by Abby's husband, Julian Marty, to follow Abby. Visser takes photographs of the tryst between Ray and Abby and delivers them to Marty. Now, Chris, what do you reckon to the opening of this movie?
Well, Dave, it's interesting because it seemed the way it was shot, obviously you could tell it was on a budget, and great backstory about having to raise the money and everything, like you said, and I'd read up on that myself before we started recording. But I think it just reminded me a little bit of that Peter Jackson nonsense one. Was it Blake put us on to, Dave? The
Bad Taste.
Bad Taste, the horror, the way it's shot, and like some of the B-movie stuff we covered. I honestly thought this is a horror movie. I really didn't read anything on it when I went in. So I thought, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. Had the 95-minute sweet spot though, Dave. So I was like, this is about 90 minutes really. I was thinking, well, it can't be that bad then. We're going to get through this. It's not 2 hours like some of the ones we've covered recently. Yeah, I think it's of its time. I can't say I enjoyed it. I think there's some proper dodgy acting in it, but with the budget, what do you expect? There is a lot of suspense in it, and there's a lot of good. I think there's some good effects in it, and there's not some bad acting. But yeah, it's not terrible, if that makes sense. And I think for a debut movie, they should be proud of it. And I think I'm going to leave over to you, but you've got something to say about where people have gone after this movie, haven't you?
Have I?
And the inspiration, Dave. People.
Right, okay. Well, to me, it did give me those kind of Tarantino vibes. There was something about it being really small. And when we discussed Reservoir Dogs, I said, for me, this is my favorite Tarantino movie. There's just something about it that resonates with me. And I can't figure out, honestly, is it the nostalgia that it's just, that was my first kind of movie like this type, this thriller, that was kind of in this violent world, but also there are no massively redeeming characters. There's no hero in this, and a lot of the people just end up in circumstances through it's almost like a Faulty Towers level farce. You get people like going off certain assumptions and they end up in these situations and then having to carry through on them. I think honestly, getting back to the beginning, though, I mean, you've got Dan Hedaya, I think his name is, playing Julian Marty, and he's this nightclub owner, and he's acting, Chris, like Bertie fucking Big Bollocks, and you've got this detective, he's played by Emmett Walsh, and he's kind of giving it the big un, saying, there's your money, go back to whichever rock you crawl from under. And, the private detective, he's not arsed at all. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about, sort of thing. So you're almost like they're both puffing their chests out and winding their necks out, you know what I mean? And just trying to act the big un. But in particular, Marty, I think he's shown like, don't mix in these circles. You don't actually know what you're talking about. And then you have this kind of relationship between Ray and Abby and Frances McDormand. I mean, the Coen brothers clearly love her because she appears in loads of movies after this as well of theirs. And yeah, there was just something fascinating about it. And it is such a small story. And that Texan feel to it as well. I think that's what, almost gives me that first half of From Dusk Till Dawn feel, and you get the opening dialogue with Emmett and whatever, and he's talking about, what I know is Texas. And I don't know, Chris, I can't say when I was watching the movie in real time that I'm going, oh yeah, this is amazing. But it was one of those that once I'd watched it, it was just playing on my mind and playing on my mind more. And I was thinking about it more. And Chris, I absolutely love this movie.
That's interesting, Dave, because I wasn't sure where you'd land with this one. Because, like I say, I didn't hate it. I thought it was very similar to movies I've seen. Maybe it's movies after this, and like you say, this is like a pinnacle, and it's used as a barometer for other directors. I do get the Tarantino vibes, though, definitely, and it a little bit. I suppose there's a little bit of like. Did you ever watch Duel, Dave? Have you ever seen Duel, Stephen King? Where the
No,
I mean, that's a great movie. It's where the bloke's like a salesman and he's got a truck just maniacally chasing him, and you can't see the driver round like the back.
You know what? That does ring a bell. I do seem to remember going through a phase of Stephen King, and that was probably when I was about those tween years. You know, when I wasn't. You know, watching something like Nightmare on Elm Street would scare the living shit out of me. But if you watch a bit of Stephen King, it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah. It's one of, and I agree. I did that. Well, I've ever said Maximum Overdrive, which when you look at the reviews, I think we mentioned on here, absolutely terrible. But I loved it as a kid. And then Christine's one that I've seen a few times because about the car that's basically Herbie, but he's a psycho Herbie, Dave. So that'd be an interesting one to cover. But no, I don't know. It felt like it the way the car was and the setting of it. It was very Stephen King. I thought in a lot of in this movie, as much as you say about Tarantino later, it just felt like that. I mean, I must admit, when the husband finds out that when he knows she's cheated and he sees the picture and when he confronts that guy, I mean, it's all like doesn't really chin him, does he? Doesn't really. It's all not amicable, but it's sort of like I don't know. He's very strange. When I was watching it, I was like, this is very like psychological, like the psychological warfare almost within the movie. I think that's how it's like. He was trying to break the guy down for sleeping with his wife, but the wife don't give a shit. She's like, oh, I've done nothing wrong, So it's a really really interesting movie. I'll give you that definitely.
Well, I think it's the fact that, it centers around these four characters. So you've got Julian Marty, you've got Visser, who's the detective, you've got Abby, and you've got Ray. And obviously Ray and Abby are having this, affair, but it doesn't seem like it's a long-running affair. It's just started up. But she's kind of scared of her husband, and she plants these seeds in his head. She says, about... him being violent and whatever. And then where it gets quite interesting, I think. So, Marty's had enough. And I think you could say that says something about his character. He's probably known that she's been cheating on him before. Ray is probably not the first. And to have it confirmed, he's just kind of like, he's not sure what to do. So he's not going to just lose his temper. He's going to be a bit more scheming and devious about it than that. So, he reaches back out to the detective and, saying, well, can you knock them off kind of thing? And it wasn't obvious to me at first what was happening, but if this was Columbo, Chris, we'd have seen a bit more of it play out. But essentially Visser is trying to make sure that he's not implicated in this murder. So he doctors these photos, like pretending that he shot Ray and Abby. And then Marty goes and gets him the money. And then he shoots Marty. But he plans to frame them for it. And that's how Visser is just going to walk off. It's the perfect crime. Because everyone just thinks, oh, it's a crime of passion, there's been infidelity involved here, and people got pissed off and basically all killed each other. That was Visser's plan. So, because when he shot him, I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yes.
But then this is where the Faulty Towers stuff comes in, because Abby and Ray have been talking. Ray knows that Abby thinks Marty's a bit of a psycho, and so when he walks in and sees that Marty's shot, he assumes that it was Abby. And so he's thinking like, oh, fuck. And now he ends up in this situation, and he's like, it's movies, isn't it, Chris? So they shag each other once, and then they're madly in love. So, the woman that he loves is, kill this person. I've got to get rid of the body. And it carries on, because then he fucking wakes up. He's not dead. Honestly, obviously, it was not as funny as a Faulty Towers sketch, but I just the way everything you kept having these misunderstandings, and then that would take you to the next bit, and it had me thinking. I don't know if you've ever had this, but I seem to have them not like every week or anything, but fairly frequently. When you have a dream and you just end up in a situation, and then you end up like on the run from the law or something, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
It seems in that dream so real. And you've gone through the door, you've gone past the point where you can get your normal life back. And you're just, you're thinking, what the fuck can I do from here? And you're trying to figure it out. And then you wake up and then it's like, oh shit, it's all a dream. It kind of reminded me of that, because Ray doesn't seem like a bad guy, but fuck me, he ends up in this horrendous situation.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point, Dave, because we all have them dreams, don't you? You end up going, what the fuck's going on? I don't want to be here. What am I doing here? Or you backpedal, end up in a job that you fucking hated, and then you're like, what have I done? I've given up with this job that I like, or what? I mean, nobody really likes working, but that sort of thing. I agree with that. It does seem like that. And also, David, you say about inspiration. Did White Men Can't Jump take inspiration about them not actually being dead and having doctored pictures, Dave? What's that? That's a stretch and a half. But there you go. That is a hell of a stretch. It's the first thing I thought, though, Dave. White Men Can't Jump, when Billy and they pretend Woody Harrelson's dead on the car, and and all that stuff. So, but no, I enjoyed this, and I think the time is perfect. It's just got a bit of something about it in bits of it. I enjoyed it, bits of it, a bit, but I do think. I mean, I like the barman. He's a bit like the moral conscience, isn't he, really, of Ray and that. And he's like the focal point of the movie in some respects, isn't he? And we get all like the money gets stolen and all that. So he's quite but he looks like an heavyweight boxer, Dave. He looks like someone you won't fucking mess with. He's massive, isn't he? Because when Ray sort of gives him a bit of aggro, I'm thinking, mate, you're going to get absolutely pummeled by this guy. He's obviously going to leverage. So
why would you say he's the focal point, though? For me, he's just a side character. The movie was about the four of them: Ray, Abby, Marty, and Visser.
I mean, the bar, and everyone seems to have a dialogue with the barman. That's what I meant. It's like a little for me anyway. It's not Cheers level day, and obviously I got aggro for calling out Cheers, which I used to love, and I think it's rubbish now when I watch it. But
Kevin was not happy with that.
He wasn't, Dave. I grew up. I love that show, but when I watch it now, I can't watch more than 10 minutes of it. I don't know why. But anyway, no, it for me, that's how I felt when I watched it, Dave. And you get this like sort of, everyone sort of spills the guts to the barman. He's there. I think the acting's pretty good. I mean, Ray's on the line, isn't he? He's sort of like the good guy, but he's still got a bit of an edge about him, hasn't he? And obviously the girl, Abby, she likes to live a bit dangerously. And I think you're right, actually. I think I'd never thought of it like that. But obviously she sort of cheated before. The latest new fad, it makes sense now with some of the dialogue and the way the movie plays out. So that's a good point, that.
And Ray, like I say, you could say, well, if it was if it was you or I, you'd say, well, okay, gonna have to go in, turn into the cops. But he just makes one bad decision after the other. And I like the fact, so he thinks that Marty's dead. He puts him in the car and everything. And then it's when he finds out he's not dead. And then you could see that, like, the scene is so tense. He's kind of wrestling with himself. Fuck, what do I do? Yeah. I'm going to have to finish the job here. And then he's about to get run over by a fucking truck or something, but he rescues him. He's wrestling with this idea that he's going to have to end this bloke's life, for the woman that he loves. And so the way that scene unfolded, and then you get a brilliant bit, because that in the gun, there aren't 6 bullets. There are 3 bullets, I think, and we see, you know, one get fired off, but we know there are more bullets in the gun. So when Ray is kind of like, he puts Marty in the, you know, shallow grave kind of thing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And Marty finds the gun in the pocket, and it's so tense. He's shooting, but it's the empty barrels. And he shoots 3 times, and you think, well, if he'd have shot one more time, that'd have been a live bit of ammo. He'd have shot Ray. And it's just, it unfolded in such a slow and tense way. And Ray's kind of calmly taking the gun off him because he thinks there's no bullets in it, but there is a fucking bullet in it. So I just thought that whole scene, the way it was shot, the way it unfolded, the way it was acted, I just thought it was brilliant. I'm fascinated by it. And I did buy this one on Amazon. Like normally, like if you rent it, it's a couple of quid or something, but it was only like £3 for the director's cut. So I thought, oh, fuck it, I'll buy it, you know, just see what it's like. But it's fucking brilliant. I don't know what it is, but I was so impressed. This is a massive surprise, but I just think it's so well done. It's not the perfect movie, and it lulls quite a lot. But like I say, that scene with Ray and Marty, I thought was, you know, really tense and really well done. And fuck me, you know, Marty's probably going to bleed out and die anyway. But Ray is there fucking burying him alive. And just like, Jesus Christ. That's where I say, like, the mashups with the genres, like, really, it's a thriller, isn't it? But that moment, that's pure fucking horror, that is.
You know what, Dave? The enthusiasm in your voice is dragging me along here. I mean, you know, like when we've done these movies, and I come in and think, yeah, I'm gonna put it here. But when you're describing it, I've missed a lot. Not missed a lot because I watched it, but you know, just the nuances and the little things that, you know me, I'm usually like bullying a China shop and just like, oh, get this out the fucking way. But there is a good movie here. And like you say, there is lulls in it. There is some crappy acting. That's to do with the budget. They're not going to get, you know, Marlon Brando in this movie. Well, Godfather Marlon Brando, not Superman 1 and 2 Marlon Brando, obviously, because he was taking the piss then. But you know, you're getting what you pay for, basically. There's some good actors scattered in this movie, but there is a good story and a good bit of sort of psychological thrill and suspense to it as well. So no, I'm not saying the famous words because you're going to say to me, fuck off, you're not going to say it. But I think I really need to watch this again. But you know, I'm probably not.
Just stick it in the queue. Stick it on the to-do pile with Hit Monkey and the Eternals.
You fucking love it when I say that because you just know it's not going to happen. But I feel like I've let myself down with this one, Dave. And it wasn't like I was on my phone or anything like that, or the time wasn't dragging, because this is a perfect sweet spot for me where it keeps my attention. And I did watch it, but I feel like I've missed so much because your enthusiasm for the movie, I'm like, I'm not getting it. I think there's a good movie there, these good bits in it, but I'm not feeling it. And yeah, I feel like I've been shortchanged, if I'm being honest.
And I can't tell you what the secret sauce is, because when I was watching it, I did feel the lulls quite a lot. And that's why I say I don't think it's the perfect movie. But if you're going to do anything, just watch that scene and how it unfolds. And the fact that we know, you know, the gun had been loaded earlier in the movie. We know it doesn't have 6 bullets in it, but we know it had more than one, which is what Visser... It's the gun that Visser used to shoot Marty in the first place. So, you know, the way it all unfolds and everything, I just thought was brilliant. One bit I was going to mention as well that I thought was funny, just knowing that they were mates with Sam Raimi. There's a moment where Marty, you know, he goes into the house and he drags Abby outside. And again, a little bit horror-like, and she just kicks him in the balls. But the kind of shaky cam is very, very Sam Raimi, very Evil Dead. But you probably haven't watched that, but so probably fall flat, that reference. But when you saw it, it's kind of like the camera's far away, and then it's running towards the actors, and it's shaking. It could be out of the Evil Dead, that. And I just thought that was a nice little homage that they did there.
No, it's interesting that. And I've not seen it, Dave. That's not being disrespectful. I haven't seen it.
We will do at some point, I'm sure. Either I'll pick it or someone will.
We won't, Dave. We won't.
But, again, so it basically buries this guy alive. Fucking horrendous thing. This guy who is not fundamentally a criminal, he's not a gangster, he's not done this shit before, and frankly, he's not any fucking good at it. You again have this farcical conversation when he's coming back to speak to Abby, because the dialogue works perfectly. They both think the other one killed Marty. What they're saying, he's saying, I did what I needed to do. And Abby's thinking, this fucking psycho, what's he done? It's brilliant. Again, just watch it and how it fits. Because we've seen that, it was Visser who shot Marty, but Ray thinks it's Abby, and Abby thinks Ray has killed Marty. It's fucking brilliant the way it's all played out. Again, it's kind of simple. You got 4 main characters, like you say. You got the barman as well, who's kind of there for, a bit of exposition. But yeah, so good. And so you get this mistrust between Ray and Abby because they both think the other one is a raving fucking lunatic and psycho killer, right up until the point when Ray gets shot through the window. By Visser. But at that point, Abby doesn't know that Marty's dead and still thinks he's alive, so she thinks it's Marty.
Is that that's the knife scene in it, Dave?
Yeah.
When she puts a knife into his hand. Yeah. Again, good effects, Dave. And proper intense.
That got very slasher movie, didn't it? That was like Nightmare on Elm. That was like Friday the 13th or something like that then, and had brilliant effects. And I thought, again, the way it was shot, the way he's kind of shooting through the plasterboard and she stood there evading the bullets, but you can see the way the light is going at different angles and then he just fucking punches through the plasterboard. Just brilliant.
Yeah, and then she shoots the door, and it's that line, Dave, isn't it, at the end? It's just he's like, I'm not afraid of you, Marty. And he's like, well, ma'am, if I see him, I'll sure give him the message.
What a fucking great line. Chris, when I'm on my deathbed, if it is unexpected and I don't drift off peacefully into the night, I hope I am that fucking witty. Well, ma'am, if I see him, I'll be sure to give him the message. Fucking brilliant. Yeah,
it was good. It was a great end to the movie, that, Dave. And I've got to go back. This has got to be an official Chris Phelps redemption arc on this movie for once. I've got to, because I've missed so much, Dave. Really, I've absolutely dropped a bollock here.
It's hard because I think there's a lot going on, and if you're not, I need to go back and watch it as well. I think, to be honest, because I'm sure there's lots that I've missed. But again, I'm just so impressed, and like you, I'm like, I know the Coen brothers, and I think, is it No Country for Old Men? That's one that pisses you off no end.
Fucking hate it. Yeah, hate it. Hate it.
So it's not like we've got this big rah-rah behind the Coen brothers, but seeing this as the first thing that they'd done, what a fucking start to your CV.
It is, and you've set me off now, Dave. Let me just talk about that movie very quickly. So a good friend of ours, an ex-drummer of our band, Asa, for some reason, I don't know what happened, I messaged him. I was still in the band. Was it come out about 2009, 2010 or something? Whenever it come out, it might have been a little bit after that, whenever it was. I remember messaging him, and me and Sam were on date night. And you know me, I am open with this as anything. I love reality TV, Dave, but if I don't have to think about a movie, me, not Sam, will actually pick out a chick flick. I love chick flicks. And for some reason, I messaged him. I went, what film? You've got, there's a website called Rotten Tomatoes. It was my first introduction to Rotten Tomatoes. And he went, No Country for Old Men. Unbelievable film. Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem. I went, sold. Straight to the cinema. fucking Josh Brolin, spoiler alert, anybody who's not seen it, is the main star, gets killed off camera, and then fucking wanky Tommy Lee Jones, he's sat there in a diner with apparently an Oscar-winning performance talking shit. He's the shittiest, laziest cop we've ever seen. And it's just him giving monologue one after the other. It's shit, Dave. And I'd never watch that film ever again.
Well, I did reach out to Jack, one of our good friends and Patreons, and, you and I have both been on his podcast, Back to the Filmography, where he's currently running through all the Statham movies. Because obviously, Jack has a film studies background, so I thought he must have seen this. Because there's just something that needs to be studied about this film. And turns out, Chris, the movie that he compares this to is No Country for Old Men. So I thought, you might want to attend one of his lectures one day.
Yeah, of course I don't, Dave. And what terrible taste in movies, Dave. I'm sorry. I hate that movie. I really hate it. It was a waste of like 20 quid.
This is part of an expectation setting, though. Surely you're in the mood. You're geared up to watch Pretty Woman or something, and you get No Country for Old Men. I think your mind might have just been calibrated for the wrong thing.
No, Dave. It's a good movie up until Josh Brolin gets taken out, and then after that, and Tommy Lee Jones just pisses me off. He's an absolute fucking talk about reining it in. I mean, he's bad enough in Under Siege, Dave, and fucking Batman and Robin. But Jesus Christ, he's shit. And they all go, what an actor he was in that movie. He did nothing. I could sit in a fucking cafe and talk shit about eating cornflakes and fucking when I'm going to retire. He's rubbish, Dave. I'm off on one now. I hate that movie with a fucking passion. It's shit, and fucking shit.
I've not watched, was it US Marshal for a while with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones?
I've seen that, yeah.
I seem to remember liking him there, but I've not watched it for a number of years. But I must admit, whenever we've gone back and watched Tommy Lee Jones in anything, I've not been impressed at all. It was Under Siege, and then Batman and Robin we'd done a couple of years ago on comics. And it does seem like he's just the hammiest fucking actor around. And I do remember, so Men in Black, I think that would stand up pretty well. But I don't know, he's pretty inconsistent for me.
I don't rate him at all, Dave. I'll be honest. I've not. There's nothing. As I've got older, he's garbage. Absolute garbage. And he's even worse in Under Siege.
Well, on that bombshell, should we get into our final review?
Let's go. I'll go first. Big thanks to Justin for picking this one. Really interesting movie. I know Dave has been absolutely cooing over it, and quite rightly. I need to go back and give it a bit more thought, I think. But just listening to you today, Dave, has been brilliant. Because I know this is a Chris Phelps special, and I'm just like, oh shit, I've been watching a completely different movie. However, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it in parts. It was a bit strange, and I think some of the things you've said have elevated it slightly for me. So I think one thing I would say, Dave, it's 95 minutes for anyone listening. It's just a perfect afternoon throwaway movie, and it's one that you should invest your time in, definitely. So I think I'm going to put it, Dave. I think at the moment I'm going to put it at the top end of Elm Street, and then I need to watch it and then maybe come back. I've said this before, it never happens. But if this does happen and I break my duck, then I will announce it on the podcast. But you're sat there now going, fuck off, Chris, you talking shit. But anyway.
There is a graveyard of movies you're definitely going to watch and TV series.
How dare you? How fucking dare you?
At some point, they're all there waving from the VHS covers. Pick me, pick me. No. To be fair, we have just come off a massive slog of reality TV, which lasted like 8 weeks. So, yeah, I think we should have some spaces to watch some stuff that we actually enjoy now. But no, Chris, I think probably your negativity balanced my positivity a little bit, because I don't think this is not the perfect movie. It's not one that that would be in the top 20 of movies that I've ever seen. I just think, from considering the setting, this being an indie movie, and I don't mean like in modern times, indie movies are just offshoots of big studios. So this was a genuine independent movie where they're ringing round trying to get the finances from people, and to be honest, they shafted them because it didn't actually make that much at the box office. Cost them $1.5 million. They made 2.7 at the box office. So not a massive commercial success, but it absolutely put them on the map, and they were able to build from this and put out more and more movies and get that kind of credibility. So yeah, I'm going to put this in Pleasantville. Really, really strong Pleasantville though. And we'll definitely watch it again. And like I say, it cost me like £3 or something on Amazon. Absolute bargain.
Good stuff, Dave. Good stuff. So, Dave, off the back of this Patreon pick, we have another one. So what are we going to be reviewing next week? And can you show us the trailer?
Well, this one is chosen by Susan, who graciously supports us on VHS and also over on the CD Reality Cast. And it's called Pandemonium, Chris, and it's from 1982.
Never before has one motion picture dared to bring to the screen.
Which way to the cheerleader camp?
Pandemonium!
What the hell?
Give me a P! I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna wear makeup. I'm gonna go out with boys. I'm gonna sleep with truck drivers. Give me an A!
When you're away at camp, don't ever touch yourself, or you'll go blind.
Son! Son!
Always.
I should have been blind a long time ago.
Reach for my blood.
Give me
I'm Sergeant Reginald
It's
Cooper
like
of the Royal Canadian
a Porky's type thing.
Give me a mo.
I think a bit of that, yeah. Or Police Academy.
Yeah, I was going to say Porky's.
Give me an Eom. Stewardess, my coffee is cold.
That's a bit of racism.
Oh my God, yeah.
This is Pandemonium. This is the incredible story of the night. All heck broke loose.
Easy, Bob, easy, Bob, easy, Bob.
Okay, Warden. Into the gas chamber.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Step right in.
Listen, here at the House of Bad Pies, we got everything.
Could I have the Three Stooges pie, please? Thank you.
This must be the act of a maniac.
Excuse me for saying this, but you must be very stupid.
Ow.
Pee Wee Herman.
I was going to say Pee Wee.
You are frightened of the night?
Baloney.
You are frightened of baloney? Police! Hey, police!
It's a rhino there, Dave.
Yeah.
This motion picture by any other name would still be Pandemonium.
In its finest moment.
Oh my God. It's like airplane, that sort of stuff, innit? But oh my God. Never even heard of it, Dave. And yeah. Thanks for that, Susan. No, I'll see it.
It's a weird kind of mashup of, like you say, Police Academy, Porky's. There's a few familiar faces there. You've got the teacher from Grease. By the looks of it in there.
The head teacher, isn't it?
Yeah,
thinking that. Oh my word!
Oh, I'm sure we'll love it.
We will see, Dave. But honestly, Big thank you to everyone, as always, guys, all our Patreons for supporting us past and present. If you do want to support us, get up to patreon.com/the VHS Strikes Back. You're going to follow us on social media at VHS Strikes Back. And if you want to email us, the VHSStrikesBack@gmail.com. So today's roll call of honor is Mr. Tony Farina, John Hammond, Blake, Maths, Jax, Herb, Lucky Lily Green, Ken Gustafson, Dylan, Heath, Matt, Paul, Alec, Timothy, Glynn, Susan, Justin, and our newest patron, Dave, is the wonderful Spider Dan, Dave. So welcome, Spider Dan. And we've seen his choice of movies, Dave. Unbelievable. That's all we'll say. That's all we'll say.
I know we've got a bit of crossover. You know, some of our supporters, big fans of Spider Dan's as well. If you've not listened to him, he does take movies that and analyzes them, that basically a lot of other people would find boring, and puts a whole new spin on it. And Jesus Christ, when I saw his name pop up, I thought, he's going to cook up something special for us, I think. And yeah, so we do know that what that title is. And yes, he did.
But Dave, it's been amazing, mate, and absolutely class. And seeing as though you love this movie, what are you going to take us out with today?
Well, I thought I'd hand the line to you, Chris, and I'd say, I'm not afraid of you, Marty.
Well, ma'am, if I see him, I'll be sure to give him a message. That's one of the worst acting ever, but there you go.
Awesome. Well, cheers, mate. Cheers to everyone out there for listening, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.
That's it, man. It's game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
I'll be back.
That's odd.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
Wax on, wax off.
Get to the chopper!
One ring to go. All right. Ding, ding. Bust you up. Go for it.
Well, here we go.
Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Ain't so bad. Come on. Ain't so bad. Ain't nothing. Come on. You must be crazy or something. I'm crazy. You just a stupid. Yeah, maybe you crazy. I ain't breathing heavy. He's a fool. He's stupid. I'll see you in 6 months.